by now you know that I have successfully made a pair of pants that I absolutely, truly love. And today I'm going to take you through some of the kind of specific details about these pants so that if you want to make them for yourself, you can kind of learn from some of my trial and error. But the pattern is the Itch to Stitch Mountain View pull-on pants, which I've said before is just a really nice way of saying jeggings. It does not have a fly. This does not work, but they do have working pockets in the front and patch pockets in the back. You can see that it has a waistband. Now my waistband is smaller than the pattern was originally drafted. The pattern has probably double this in a waistband, but when I was doing my alterations, I made this portion a little bit too tall, too long through here. So with that huge, tall waistband, they were coming up like to my ribs. I mean, high-waisted is good, but it was too high-waisted. So I had to trim that down. So whenever you get your pattern, they will have a taller waistband. But it has like a yoke in the back. It has all of the details that normal jeans have. But just no like actual jeans. No actual zipper fly and button and all of that. The fabric is a denim printed ponte. So this is not actually denim at all. It's not even a twill weave. It's not a stretch twill or anything. It is a full-on knit, ponte knit fabric. You can see on the inside, it's black on the inside and has, by my estimate, like, I remember doing this before and I want to say I got like 30-40% stretch on it. So that helps too, because when it comes to pear shapes and pull-on pants, you might have experienced this in the stores, but basically you need to have the waistband be close fitting so they don't fall down, but that waistband also has to stretch out enough to get over your hips. And when you're like me and your waist to hip ratio is so dramatic, you really need to stretch out that waistband a lot. So thankfully this fabric does that. There is elastic on the inside as well, but these go on easy, they stay up, they're really great. So I want to talk to you guys about thread first. So where should I start? I do not think that you would be able to successfully sew these with regular polyester thread. I would have pulled my hair out doing that, because even with the zigzag stitch, that with the ponte, I mean, yes, it would work, but I just think it would be such a frustrating process. I ended up using Coats & Clark's EloFlex on every single seam, vertical or horizontal, because I knew that it would have to stretch multiple ways because it was so close fitting. With the EloFlex stretchable thread, the thread literally stretches out and recovers. It stretches out and goes back together. I'm running out of hands, but I can show you. And what that does is it allows you to sew with a straight stitch. It's really cool. It's really cool. I hope you guys can see how that's happening. It allows you to sew with a straight stitch, but then the thread stretches with the fabric, so you're able to get it on. When I was making my muslin for this garment, I was not using EloFlex because it is kind of expensive and I don't want to use it like on muslins. I had done one of the largest zigzag stitches and my stitches were still popping. So that was really annoying, but I have had no issues with that whatsoever with this. It's been great. Now, in terms of the top stitching, so when I make blue jeans, I love to see, I say that like I make blue jeans all the time. But when I have attempted to make blue jeans in the past, and in my mind, every time I've made blue jeans, they've always had the traditional gold top stitching. That is what allows this, I mean, the fabric does look like denim, like printed denim, even though it's a ponte, but having all of those top stitching details really, really fool the eye and make you think that it is absolutely 100% jeans when it's not. And so the top stitching is the way to do that. Surprisingly, and I want to show you, I did not have great results with the Gutermann top stitching thread. When I was sewing it, here's a great example. Okay, here we go. All right, this is the back, okay? I swear I didn't do this on purpose. This pocket, this is the top stitching of the pocket. So we're going through 2 layers of ponte for the pocket, plus 1 layer of fabric for the actual pant back. This is what it looks like whenever I sew with Gutermann. The tension was crazy. I had top stitching thread in the top, but regular polyester thread in the bobbin. And I just could not for the life of me get my tension right. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. It's just going to look weird on the inside. It's just going to be on the inside. No one will know. It'll be fine. Then I ran out of Gutermann thread, and all I had was the Coats and Clark 61 polyester, 39% cotton jeans / top stitching thread. This dual duty plus is all I had left. So I put that in my machine thinking it's gonna have the same wonky results, but no. Look at this other pocket, nearly perfect. So I'm not entirely sure the differences between the 2 threads, but I just wanted to show you guys this, because if you're having trouble with top stitching thread, try another brand. I mean, I was trying different needles, I was messing around with the tension, I was re-threading, I was trying it all. And all I had to do was switch the brand of thread. So keep that in mind whenever you go to work with denim or anything else. It may not be you or anything you're doing, it may just be the thread that you've chosen. All right, now I'm gonna turn these to the front and show you a little secret, I guess it's like a hack, I don't know. But I got this idea from some jeggings that I got from Spanx. And Spanx is like the worldwide industry leader when it comes to fitted, comfortable clothes. Am I right? That do magical things to different body parts. Lifts where it needs to lift, flatten where it needs to flatten. So anything that they do, I'm like, I should probably try that. And in those jeans, the pockets, the front pockets, are not just the little teardrop pockets that you normally see in pants. It's a panel that wraps around the entire front of your body. And that panel is like another layer of like, not sucking in, but another layer of just control for a tummy, a problem tummy. One that tends to be poochy or flabby or any of that stuff. That extra panel just is another layer. The outer fabric is one layer, and then the pocket panel is another layer. So I did that on my pants. You can see they have an entire layer that's just pockets. And the way that I was able to do that is because, as you can see on the right side, the pockets look totally normal. So the way that the pattern pieces come, one is shaped like this, but a little bit bigger. And then another one is like much bigger, but it scoops around and it is that, you know, larger pocket bag shape that you're familiar with. I took that piece, laid it on top of the pant front, and then just filled in horizontally across the bottom of the pocket up to the center front, added some seam allowance here, bada bang, bada boom, and that was that. I ended up using a lightweight, I guess it's like a lining fabric. It's definitely polyester, and it didn't have a lot of give to it. It is a stretchy fabric, but it's not like, okay, I have some here. Is this it too? Yeah, okay. So you can see kind of like, I mean, it is a knit fabric, but it's not super, super stretchy. And so I thought that that would be, of what I had, the best like tummy control type of fabric that I had. It's definitely lightweight. It definitely has some give to it, but not a ton. It's not 100% stretch. That I think would just stretch out and then be stretched out. This at least recovers really well and doesn't stretch out that much to begin with. So that is my next tip for these pants, is if you need help in that area, to add a little tummy control panel. The last thing that I want to say about these jeans, and ultimately why I decided to sew these jeans versus the other pull-on pants that are out there, and I'm going to do another video reviewing 5 different pull-on pants patterns, so you guys can decide for yourself which one is the best for you based on each feature. But these pull-on pants have a back seam. And when I first saw that, I was like, I don't know. And on theirs, on the instructions, you are told to top stitch that. And I think that that is what initially deterred me from it. You can see it there. But I said, well, if I don't top stitch it, it'll kind of just blend in. And having that seam, because my legs are so bonkers. I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. They just are kind of all over the place. But I have a athletic thigh. So I have like a prominent front thigh, a thin back thigh, but I also have prominent calves. And so I just thought having that center seam down the back would allow me to pinch in certain areas and let out in other areas, still maintaining the side seam, you know, being actually at the side seam. I thought that would be a little bit easier to navigate all of that kind of like fullness in some areas, thinness in other areas. And I really do think that it helped a lot, especially in the back calf. I think that I would have been so discouraged to try and fit my calf, especially whenever you're like, got the crotch, you got like the waist, and now it's like my stupid calves are what is keeping me from finishing this. That's so annoying. So I was really glad to have that seam back there to kind of let out a little bit in the calves, give me a little bit more room there, but also still be able to have that tapered jean look. But Stylemaker Fabrics also has a black version of this, so it's denim printed ponte, but it looks like black denim instead of blue denim. And with that, I am going to top stitch, but in black thread. So it's not going to be as noticeable. And now that I know that my machine and the fabric and whatever it was likes the dual duty better, I will be able to eliminate all of that. Also, because I was using Eloflex, I used a stretch needle instead of a ballpoint needle. The stretch needle, the Eloflex likes better because it has like a little channel at the tip of the needle, and the Eloflex likes that better. So that's what I used throughout. I think I tried to switch to top stitching needle for the top stitching when I initially had problems, but then it ultimately just left in the size 90 stretch needle the whole time, and you can see how the top stitching looked. So hopefully this video helps you guys a little bit figuring out the Mountain View jeans pattern specifically, but also some little tips and tricks that will help you sew pull-on jeans a little bit easier whenever you go to attempt it. So I have tons and tons of links in the description box. So if you have any questions about where you can get any of the stuff that I mentioned, it will be there. So check there first. If you have any other questions, of course, leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, that is going to do it for me today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.